Tom Brown, it is a delight to get to meet you. I've heard so much about you and just welcome your ability to and your willingness to be here for the Golden Wisdom of Love, Legends, and Legacies. Welcome.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
That's awesome. So what made you decide to participate in the Guiding Grace series for the Golden Wisdom book?
Well, I have just lived a very rich, full life. I'm 90 years old. I've had many, many life experiences. I've learned many lessons, a lot of them the hard way, but at least I've learned. And I'm living today in just gratitude. That's what I do. So grateful to just be alive for another day, a miracle of another day on this beautiful planet. So I live in gratitude. I'm here because I feel my story might help others. And let's hope that it will.
I know it will. I'm convinced that it will. What's the name of your chapter?
The chapter in the book?
Yes, yes.
I think it's called Legacy of Love, but I'm not sure of that. I think it's Legacy of Love, I believe.
Legacy of Love. So tell us a little bit about your life and what you've done. Obviously, you've had to, for you to be happy to be alive today at 90 years old, there's been a lot of good things happen. So how have you shown up in the world?
Well, I feel like I've lived many lifetimes in this one. I have been a teacher, a writer, a musician, an Air Force pilot, and a prisoner also.
And a prisoner.
All of that. That's quite a mixture. And anyway, from all of that, it seems ironic to me that I had to lose everything in order to find out where real wealth really is. And I found out, of course, it's within. I've never had so little in my life as right now. And yet I've never felt so wealthy. And it's interesting that I had to go to prison in order to find out where real freedom is. And that's, of course, within too. And my prison experience was a tremendous learning experience for me.
I would imagine.
You know, as I was facing a long prison sentence and losing absolutely everything, I asked myself, what in the world would my purpose be now? What purpose could I have? And the answer I got was one that I'm still dealing with. It's my inner voice said, your purpose is to be a loving presence. And I thought, wow, how do you do that in prison? Well, I found a way. I became I had my own classroom. I taught the fellows, helped them to get their GED. And I wrote many articles about the prison experience. But it was a good one, and I made it a tremendous learning experience, which is what it was.
So what caused you, if you don't mind my asking, to have to go to prison after such a colorful life, being a teacher, all of this? What happened?
Well, you may wonder, why did I go to prison?
Yes, yeah.
My intentions were good, but my timing was off. We had many, many properties, many, many investors, and a lot of money, and we were doing very well. And then the market in the late 90s turned downward. And instead of dealing with that with my investors, I started juggling money around that I had no right to do. But I started doing that because I didn't want anybody to lose any money. I just didn't. And I felt that eventually the tide would turn and properties would come back in value, and we would be able to recoup everything. And that's true. But it happened several years after I was in prison. My intentions were good, though. My timing was off, and I had no right to do that. But
lessons learned, huh?
I paid quite a price for that.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I learned from it. When I walked out of the gate after 13 years in prison, I was a more humble person, a more compassionate person. a more understanding person than the one that went in. So
Absolutely.
it was a great learning experience. And even today, I'm learning how to be a loving presence. I start each day with that thought. Well, how can I spread a little bit of cheer today or lift people up? I have quite a following on Facebook, and my purpose today is to just lift people's spirits. I do it with puns, silly puns, jokes, and maybe a few thoughtful essays that I write. And I want to just lift people up. There's so much negativity today,
There is.
and things that we can't really do anything about. But the one thing we can always do something about is our own environment. I can make a difference in my own neighborhood by helping a neighbor, by doing something that would help someone else.
Wow.
So we can make a difference in our own neighborhood.
Yes, and the very fact that you had to have that experience, you made a choice to, it could have turned you sour and ugly, or you can just, how can I make a difference? What can I do to make a difference for everybody else, for other people around me?
Well, that's true. I could have very easily focused on what I lost, because I lost a lot. But I could have focused on that and been very depressed and bitter and angry or whatever. But I didn't. I focused on what I still have. And what I still had after I lost everything was what really mattered, what really counted, because I found my riches within. And it's not based on what's outside or what's happening. It's just what's going on now. And I'm at peace and I'm happy, and I'm just treasuring every single day.
And you're still giving back, aren't you? You're still making a difference in our world.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, how awesome. So when somebody picks up this book and reads your chapter, what is it that you want them to walk away with?
I want them to feel encouraged. I want them to feel better about themselves. And I hope that they'll do that, to not give up, to stay in there, hang in there, and make the very best of each day. I hope that they'll remember me as someone who tried to be a loving experience, a loving presence. And that's the way I'd like to be remembered.
And I'm sure you will be.
And I would like for them to take that away from what I've written in the book.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. We are so delighted to have you be a part of this series, and it's fun. Last year we had Wisdom of the Silver Sisters, and this year we have both men and women in this Golden Wisdom of Love, Legacies, and Legends, or the other way around.
Yeah,
and it is really fun to get to for me, I get to interview all the ones that are writing chapters, and wow, what a wonderful array of beautiful people. And I feel so honored that you decided to be a part of this.
I am so proud to be a part of it. I really am. And I look forward to meeting some of the other writers. I hope we can do that.
I'm sure we will. Yes. Yeah.
With some meetings and things, but it's a privilege and an honor, and I am so pleased to do that.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for your wonderful contribution.
Well, you're welcome. I just, at my age, I don't have much time left. So I'm very particular, very selective, I should say, about how I spend my time and who I spend it with. And I don't really want to spend time with toxic people or negative people. I'm interested in people that are making the best of each day, no matter what. Absolutely. That are contributing to others, making a difference in every way they can. And those are the people I want to be around, and the people I want to uplift. So every morning I start out, I have this imaginary dog named Ralphie the dog, who has his own Facebook page, and he has his own following. Anyway, I created him in prison. I've always had a dog, and in prison I couldn't have.
Yes, no, you couldn't.
So I created him, and as I was teaching the fellows, I would often draw Ralphie dancing. It was like Snoopy dancing up in the corner, and I'd say, "Way to go, Joe," or something like that. And then it became known as getting a Ralphie. And whenever they'd get 100 on their page, I'd draw Ralphie up there. And it became the purpose of my classes. Everybody wanted a Ralphie. And then they'd send that paper home to their loved ones, and they were so proud of it. And then I will never forget this. As I was handing out the diplomas, the GED diplomas, one fellow handed it back to me. And I said, "Why are you handing this back?" He says, "I want Ralphie drawn on my certificate." And I said, "Well, this is a legal document, and I don't think I should do that." He said, "Ralphie helped me to get it, and I want him on there."
Aw,
So I drew Ralphie on that GED diploma.
and there's nothing wrong with that. That's pretty cool.
Oh my. But you know, the thing that was so valuable in teaching was watching people begin to get confidence in themselves, finally.
It's like the
Because-
light turns on.
Yeah. So many times the fellows I was teaching had a poor self-image. They had been told they were dumb, they couldn't learn, and they bought into it. And so I had to overcome that. And I did it with just baby steps. They needed a win so badly, even if it's nothing more than 2 + 2 is 4, something, so they can have a feeling that they're accomplishing something. And then they all worked for trying to get a Ralphie. And we always had a lot of humor in the classroom, a lot of laughter.
Well,
In
that makes that's healing for the soul.
In
Yeah.
fact, I think one of the best compliments I ever got was one of the guards pulled me aside one time and said, "You know, there's just too much noise, too much laughter in your classroom. It's disturbing some of the others." And I thought, wow, too much laughter in a prison classroom? Gee,
And
that's
then it's like, so
that's a
that's
great
good.
compliment.
We're going to keep that one. And I imagine so many of those individuals that you taught remember you to this day. They know what an
Yeah.
impact you made, and it stuck with them for a long time.
Yeah, we're still friends, a lot of us, you bet. I have
Awesome.
some very, very dear friends. You know, whenever somebody tells me they've been in prison, I immediately feel a bond with them, a connection, because I know what they've gone through. Been there, done that.
Yeah, don't want to do it again.
No, but at the same time, I'm rather proud of how I've handled it. I'm not ashamed of it.
Well, you had to
And I
get over the shame. You had to get over that part of it in order to still be alive today.
That's true. That's true. And I always wonder whether to mention it or not when I meet new people. And sometimes it's appropriate and sometimes it isn't. But if it's appropriate, I'm glad to share it. I don't have anything to hide. No secrets, none. I'm just, what you see is what you get.
Here I am in all my glory.
This is it. Yeah.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to the day that I get to meet you in person, that day will come.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it will. I'm
Yeah.
sure it will, Becky.
Very good.
We will
Thank
meet.
you. Okay. All righty. Well, I'll get you this recording where it'll go also in the book. It'll be at the end of your chapter, and a little QR code that just comes to life. So those that read your chapter will also capture the essence of who you are in real life.
Wonderful.
All
Look
right.
forward to that so much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Becky. Been wonderful.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.